Welcome, everybody, back to Umineko. It has been a while. I'm Malleable Persona, you can call me Mal, and I am joined as always by Kat.
It me. And yeah, it's my fault that we haven't been doing this. Not really my fault, but I'm the cause, whether it's my fault or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't say fault, I would say, meat bodies are the fault.
Yeah, the fragile, shitty, broken vessels with which we use to interact with one another. Mine is busted.
Yeah. Just posting up the socials.
Yeah. That's also what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I actually remembered for once. Right, there we go. Everything's working, everything's live, I think.
Alright, so, stuff I've been up to. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go
How
into
you been?
I'm not going to go into everything between now and last Umineko stream. If you want to hear life updates, look at Weeb Wednesday.
Yeah, Weeb Wednesday has a lot more like rambling.
Yeah. So let's see. Lately I played a game called Me-Side.
Yeah, you were saying something about that in the Discord.
Yeah, I sent you some links about it. Essentially, you play a waifu prone game and then are pulled into the world of the game. But it
Nautical isekai.
kind of, yes. Well, I say the world of the game, but I do mean like the actual game. Like the game is a constructed world unto itself.
Interesting.
But and this is very much in the advertising and everything, so I don't mind saying this part. Your version of the waifu is unfortunately Hi
Yes.
Quinn. Your version of
Pelican.
your version of the waifu is unfortunately murderous. Yeah, we're talking.
I don't see a problem here.
Yeah, we're talking. Well, murderous towards you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. That's less than good.
Yeah, like murderous in general. I can take or leave. Yeah, we're talking about me, side Quinn, since you're kind of one of the people who prompted me to get the game. But yes, it is it's a very interesting game. Yeah, that's very fair. Definitely worth playing for yourself. I actually went through the whole thing and it is fantastic. It is very detailed, and you go through various different versions of the game and games within the game. Like there's a racing game in there.
Get out of there. It's fucking assaulting my bag of cans that are going out to recycling.
But yes, that version is murderous, but there are basically an infinite supply of these people.
Of the waifus?
Yes, of the waifus.
Okay, fair enough. I think that might encourage some horrible behavior.
More than a little bit. I won't go into spoilers, but it's definitely... It says something when Monica of Doki Doki Literature Club would look at this situation and go, that's fucked up.
That's a bit much, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is excessive. So what have you been up to?
Uh, I would like to say I've been doing literally anything other than like playing games and reading, but I can't because my this is the reason why we skip the streams, right? Like my body has been in just absolute pieces lately, and
Yeah,
it still is a little bit today. But I'm just, I can't skip too many streams. I do get a little bit of money from this. I need that.
yeah, that do be true. And hopefully you're at least better than some of those times.
I'm a little better today than I was yesterday. I'll tell you that much. And
Okay.
I'm better than Thursday, but my arms are still. It's mostly my arms today, actually, which is fucked up. My legs kind of like they're a little achy, but the past couple days my arms have been the ones doing it. My shoulders, which is not good. I need
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, those are important.
Like, don't get me wrong, the legs are too, but the legs.
The legs are not your money
I need at least
makers.
one pair of those. Yeah, I need at least one pair of my limbs to be able to do like literally anything.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I can tell the people at home about this. I was just looking for a fountain pen because I'm like, whatever, I've got
Oh
money.
yeah. Oh gods. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I've got money. I want a fountain pen just because it's a little bit more environmentally friendly to have that than the disposable pens, and fountain pens are pretty. But I stumbled upon some fountain pen hobbyist drama in the form of a far right pen company. The name of the company is Noodler, just in case you happen to stumble upon them. And, I would suggest not purchasing from them. And the pens did not indicate any of this. The pens are just pens. But then I went to purchase ink, because of course you need ink.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
and the bottles of the ink had very nationalist abuse. But I'm like, maybe, just maybe, they are just really emphasizing the made in America thing. But I'm suspicious enough to Google. And I Google, and apparently they've had bottles with anti Semitic imagery. Like,
Ew.
yeah, obviously not,
Super ew.
obviously not the swastika, that would be obvious. But, uh, you know, very Red Scare, anti communist, putting devil horns on people in specific horns that are correlated with anti Semitic imagery. And other symbols. Yeah, fucking pens. Just the ink bottles. Like, I know they have a bottle of red ink that has Bernie Sanders on it with the communist symbol. The symbol for communist Russia.
Gross.
And yeah, it's just like, what the flying fuck? You couldn't just, oh, we're going to put a picture of a Civil War battle, or we're going to put pictures of various places in the country. No, we have to do the anti Semitism, Red Scare bullshit. So, needless to say, I did not buy a pen or anything from that company and instead sought
Yes, of
out
course.
another company that, is just a fucking pen company.
Actually, I did used to have like a full ass calligraphy set. I don't know where the hell it is now. It was a nice one too.
Very fair.
It's old but nice, like probably like a 60s or 70s.
Yeah, my penmanship is actually crap, though who knows? Maybe I've always liked pens
So was
better.
mine. I mean, you've probably seen my handwriting on on various like note stuff that I've sent you before. So,
Probably at least once or twice.
all right, yeah, I'll pull it up on screen on. Just give me a second. Let me cover up my screen real quick so I can go through my folders without like getting TOS'd.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. It's probably under projects.
But just fucking ridiculous. So,
Where the fuck is my cladogram? Damn it!
I am glad to eventually be getting a pen. It should actually be here tomorrow, presuming, not any delays.
Here we go.
The other thing is, I will be getting the Final Fantasy XIV starter set, but I didn't realize it doesn't have the character creation rules in it because it's very bare bones starter set. They're only just now releasing the full rules.
Yeah, here you go. This is my handwriting. It used to be way better when I actually wrote stuff down regularly, but I haven't done that in like 10 years. It's mostly all like, electronic these days. So,
Yeah, also fair. About the only thing I write down is my log of like doctor's visits and things.
like sometimes I'll be doing something and I'll need a bunch of numbers real quick, so I'll like scribble them down on the back of an envelope or something. But that's it. Fucking, I don't know.
Honestly, you're more consistent than I am. I'll give you that.
Oh, I had to rewrite some of those things
Fair enough.
when I was doing it. Because like I would write it down and be like, oh, that's completely illegible. I should fix that.
Yeah. Also, sorry folks, but I am too lazy to grab a screen grab or pull it up on my stream. If you want to see Cat's handwriting and other things, come to the Discord.
Yes, the one day when my legs and my arms and all my joints stop getting worse, I will be able to work more because then I'll actually know my limits day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I am very glad that you've got a doctor's visit later next year.
Yeah, it's in the like nearly the end of January is the first time I could get a fucking doctor's appointment set. So
Yeah. So hopefully they'll get you sorted. At least with things not getting any worse.
hopefully, fucking I don't. But like, my big problem with these guys is that I can't expect like everywhere to have a 24-hour thing, but it fucking sucks having like chronic insomnia and sleeping best during the day and then having to go do things like doctor's visits, for example. Awful. I fucking hate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, there really should be more stuff for people who get up and move around at night.
Yeah, like it's not like there's not a lot of people who work like night shifts, right? Like that's normal today is like probably I don't know, like
At
an
least,
eighth of people work night shifts or graveyard shifts at least, something later on in the day where they can't actually go to banks and government offices and doctors' offices and shit.
yeah, it's like, what the heck?
Like I know why the medical community doesn't do it, and that's because like there's a huge shortage of like medical practitioners in general, like medical professionals,
Yeah.
regardless of like education level, whether they're full on doctors or nurses or even orderlies are like there's not very many of them.
Yeah, because they don't
Imagine that. That's what happens when you ignore a fucking pandemic and then treat the medical professionals that you rely on like shit.
Yeah, and, record profits for hospitals and other medical facilities, but shit pay for anybody actually working for them.
Yeah. Like, I'm not even going to see an actual doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to see a physician's assistant. That's what it is.
Huh.
Which is like a master's degree or something like that. It's not quite a doctorate, right? Still very impressive, but it's not a doctorate. I'm not actually going to see a doctor. I'm going to see a physician's assistant.
Interesting.
It's completely ridiculous. There wasn't even an option to like register an appointment with a doctor at any of the clinics that I saw.
Wow.
And yes, that includes the one that you sent me, that you helped me find.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that's actually the one that I sent an appointment to. I don't remember.
But yeah, I figured as much that you checked them all and it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah. No actual doctors for me, apparently.
Yeah, at least not until your first visit, I guess.
No, apparently not, because my housemate also goes to the same clinic. It also just sees the same person every time. And it's the same dude that I've got.
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah.
it's just that they're not a full on family doctor because they don't have the doctorate, but they're the ones who are going to suggest you for any specialist, whatever.
Yeah. So it's slightly misleading to say that there's no doctor, but like in this context, I mean MD, right?
Yeah, like
Medical
actually,
doctor
like,
with the MD designation. Because there is a doctor there, but she is a doctor of nursing practice, which I have no idea what the fuck the difference is between
oh, a nurse
doctor of nursing practice
practitioner. Okay,
and
yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna be fine then. Nurse practitioners have all the training they need.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's what the difference is between the doctor of nursing practitioner practice or whatever the fuck and physician's assistant, which I'm sure I'll be fine either way. But like, I don't know the difference, so I just fucking picked one at random and I got the physician's assistant. So I could not find any information on like what the difference between the two was online. It's just like I I don't understand.
Let's see here. Okay. PA education and practice emphasize patient education, preventative care, and chronic care management. So they're a lot more patient focused, it seems like.
Is that the physician's assistant?
Yeah, that's physician's assistant.
With the chronic care, I'm sort of like, okay, maybe that's the one I should go for then. I don't know.
Yeah, so, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
uh, yeah, so you've been doing that, and you've been doing at least a little bit with tinkering with vampire stuff, I think.
Yes, I've been trying to do thunks on it whenever I can. It's just like the chronic pain thing is very distracting. Let's say. In fact, I think earlier today I sent you an idea for a vampire elder, which is like some bitch that's been asleep for 2,000 plus years, and but their hair grew the entire time. And whenever they woke up, they just decided not to cut it and just braided it instead.
Yeah, and it's still like almost floor length.
Yeah, which of course, like if someone's hair grew normally for fucking 2,000 years, it would be way longer than that.
Yeah.
Because you can get that hair length in like a lifetime if you manage your hair correctly. So that's, but you know, it's vampires. You can just say their hair grows to whatever fucking rate you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you could just also say, yeah, it grew longer than that, but they realized that was impractical. So
You
they
could, yeah. In fact, hold on. Let's. What's the average rate of human hair growth per year?
yeah, and you're right,
6 inches
Quinn.
per year.
It
Okay.
really is that right wingers just have to insert politics into everything, even though they insisted it's, liberals who do that.
So it would be 12,000 inches long
Oof.
at that rate,
Wow.
which is 1,000 feet.
God damn.
Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. So let's just say that her hair probably did not grow that quickly.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, she wasn't getting all of her vital blood-related nutrients.
Also unconscious and also a vampire, blah, 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 blah.
So yeah, last we left off, well,
one further note before
yeah.
we go on, because we're going to have to talk a couple minutes about what's going on, because I have no idea. I don't remember. But I've gotten to the point where my Skyrim no longer looks like Skyrim at all. Like, like the places are recognizable, you know, like you can tell that, hey, this is Whiterun, this is Riften, or whatever. But not so much otherwise. Like, all the animations are different, the characters all look different, the armor's like completely different. It's great. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because, you know, Skyrim is ass.
Yeah, modders can just make a serviceable game out of it. And that's not a compliment to the modding platform, because it's still shit.
Yeah, like, so what people say a lot is that Skyrim and other modern Bethesda games are eminently moddable. They are not. I don't know if you've ever actually looked at the creation kit. It's fucking horrendous.
Oh yeah, like you need the you need the I forget what it's called, SEK or something, but the modders creation kit.
Extender.
Yeah, script extender. Like, you need script extender to do so much of what makes modding good. And that is not made by Bethesda. That is just made by
it's also a mod, which is, I think, every Bethesda game that has a script extender has also had the same people do the script extender.
Yeah, like, hats off to the script extender people. They're the ones who make it a okay modding platform.
Like, you need mods to make the game more moddable, which is fucked up.
Yep. It's just that the only thing Bethesda has been sort of good at is they make large worlds. So there's something
very wide, but about as deep as a puddle.
Yeah, exactly. Super wide, deep as a puddle. But it makes it at least somewhat useful to be modded upon. Because they can make a wide world and, like, add depth to it.
Which is deeply upsetting to me, because, like, Morrowind was really, really good. Like,
it was Morrowind was
not just wide, but deep as fuck.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Morrowind was fantastic. I need to replay.
I can't really comment too much on Oblivion, but that's because I didn't play much of it. I played a couple dozen hours of it, but I was also, I don't know, like 13 or 14 when it came out.
Basically,
I was fucking around too much with it.
Basically, it is kind of in order of it getting more and more shit. So Morrowind was pretty fucking good.
So I remember 3 things about Oblivion. I really wanted the Daedric weapons off of the assassins in the opening.
Oh yeah,
but you couldn't get them because they were bound weapons, not actual literal Daedric weapons. And I didn't know that at the time, so I was like, why the fuck can't I get your armor and your weapons? What is going on?
Yeah.
Second is that everyone looked goofy as fuck.
Yep.
Like the character models are just awful.
Potatoes. Then, but not the Lalafell potatoes, just potato based.
Just fucking, it's like cotton getting stuffed in between each cell. Anyhow, and then the third thing is that the speech system sucked garbage balls.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the
actual, like something to do with like a pie shape on the screen, and you had to, I don't know. There's some weird shit going
on. The persuasion mini game. Like,
I also remember that they've been using the same fucking lockpick mini game for like 20 years, and it's gross and it sucks.
Yeah, it's absolutely awful. I always mod it out in some fashion.
Yep. I also have a mod for that. This one is cool because it actually lets you like lock certain like specific numbers. It's great.
Oh,
it's
neat.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Way
either
better.
spells or the force lock, like just punch a door to force the lock if you're strong enough.
Yeah,
Or
what I used to do was I actually got a like a graphic that'll show you like where the sweet spot is on
yes,
screen.
that
So you
that's
just fucking
yeah,
do
that's the
that
other one
instead.
I do.
But now that there's actually a mod with a good lockpicking system in it, I'm just like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
That's what I want right there, baby.
absolutely. So yeah, Brutal Erica got dunked on. Uh,
I
we,
remember that she got dunked on, but not the specifics. So
yeah, specifically, uh, Battler jumping out the fucking window to prove that uh Kinzo could have gotten down that way.
yeah, I remember that, but that was a couple streams ago.
Yeah, that was a couple
I think.
streams ago. Uh, then we progressed to Erica being big salt that she got dunked on, and going after really weird things she thought were inconsistencies, but really weren't. Like, oh, you didn't land, you scrambled down the wall. But that doesn't disprove Battler's point that Kinzo could have done the same thing.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter if he scrambled down the wall or not. Like the fact that he could do it at all is, yeah.
Yeah, and she's using Otherworld lingo while on the game board a lot.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Um, we also got to know that, let me see here, that Delanor, A. Nox, is actually a decent enough person. Like, it's all business for her.
Yeah.
Like, we have a conversation where she's like, I'm not going to disprove the tea. I am just going to assume that it was a magic trick and just drink my fucking tea, because it's good.
I'm just going to ignore how you made it or if you made it at all, and I'm just gonna drink the fucking tea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she is a interesting character who I thought was going to be more militant in her view, but nah, she's just really determined to uh do her thing.
If I remember correctly, it's not even that she hates magic specifically, it's that she hates magic used to hurt people.
Yeah, specifically, she hates magic that I think it's something like obscures intent, if I remember. But she doesn't mind magic where it just obscures the means. Because basically, like, if you do a magic trick for a kid, she doesn't care. Because the intent is clear. You give candy, and it brings joy. Like,
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
if you,
I'm starting to remember that, yeah.
yeah. So that works, She's fine with that. She's not going to disprove that. But if you obscure what was done in the first place, like obscuring who the murderer is, that's where she actually has tension. Uh,
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
it's fine as long as the murder sparks joy. Excellent, Quinn.
Much
And,
murder sparks joy for me.
yeah. And then also, I think the last thing I really recall is Furuto Erika kind of torturing the two angels here, Cornelia and Gertrude. Like making
that was gross.
making them stand with their arms behind their back and then pushing them over.
All right, give me.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. She also failed to actually explain the knock and the letter. Like, nothing she came up with actually worked. I remember that. Alright, so that's basically all like the broad strokes of what I remember. I'm sure we'll remember some things as we go, but that's kind of like I said, the broad strokes of what happened. And, Hideyoshi was murdered, that's right. And
right,
I think,
with Natsuhi in the fucking closet the entire time.
Yeah, so I think we are approaching when we're actually going to have Battler sitting at the table getting involved.
Hell yeah. Finally.
Fucking finally, yes. Alright, so, in the Golden Land, the endless rain continued to fall. Battler was nowhere to be seen. It would very soon reach a time when Battler had joined in on the 5th game. Okay. Just confirming what I said, alright. And
Thanks,
control
Rikishi.
and control of his piece would be passed on to him. In other words, only now, in this final stage of the game, when Bern Castell had pinpointed the culprit, was Battler finally going to be allowed to participate. He had left the Arbor a short while ago for that reason. Now the only ones in sight were Virgilia, who continued to knit silently, and Beato, who just sat there blankly amidst the smell of her black tea, even putting the cup to her lips. Virgilia stopped knitting for a moment, looked out across the vast golden rose garden that extended as far as the eye could see.
At least in terms of mere culprit guessing games, I think we can say that Battler has gained the strength to never again surrender.
About fucking time. But I think there's gonna be a but here.
Yeah, probably. You gave him every message he needs by the end of the 4th game.
Are you sure about that? But
Yeah, there's still some missing pieces here, but, sure, go ahead, Virgilia. That is to say, Battler possesses all the tools to reach the truth at any moment. However, he has a weak side. Because of that, even if the game goes on to repeat 100 times, he will never solve it. I don't know about that. We got 3 more episodes after this. I think he's going to solve it.
maybe.
He'll just wander around, or wander forever like someone trying to find the blue bird. Fucking. I don't know what that means.
It's some old fairy tale or something from Japan.
Fucking fair enough. Oh, bluebird trivia. Did you know that that blue pigment is very rare in nature? Most things that are blue do so through the structure of their, like, whatever the fuck, rather than actually, like, chemically blue.
Yeah. And I think a lot of blue bird feathers do it by reflection of the light, or how the light interacts with it.
That's what I mean by the structure. There's like the not the quills. What the fuck are they called? The little bits of a feather. Like the little hair-like bits on the sides of the feather.
For some reason, my brain goes
There's-
pinion.
I think pinion is a type of feather.
Okay.
Um, but anyway, like these things are shaped in a specific way to refract light to make it blue.
Yeah. Apparently, bluebirds have been symbols of happiness in cultures all over the world for millennia.
Interesting.
Which I guess, fair enough. They're rather standout looking and have a nice song to them, usually.
Yeah. But the difference between like the blue thing, like it doesn't really matter practically. It's just really interesting and cool, I think.
Yeah, it's just interesting that blue pigment is rare. And that, Beatrice, goes for you as well. Even if you play this game hundreds more times, you will never arrive at the answer you seek. Bern Castell will abuse this game without a doubt. Lambda Delta will also turn this game about with the utmost arrogance. At a glance, that may be humiliating and appear to you in Battler as though the game has been stolen from you. However, this is something the two of you need right now. That's kind of fair, actually. I can't actually disagree with that. They needed somebody to stir the pot to actually progress things. Yeah, and Virgilia's likely talking about is the Blue Bird in 1908. Belgian play about two children searching for happiness but never finding it because they can't appreciate what they have in the present. Yeah, if I remember,
this is good information.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's that they keep searching for the stated blue bird, but they have a blue bird in a cage in front of them. But they think a blue bird must be a bird outside of the cage.
I think I've heard of this play before. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, they did bring it up earlier. They've referenced this quite a few times already.
Okay, that might be where I know it from, actually. So
Yeah.
fucking looking it up after it gets referenced or something.
Yeah, so they've referenced it a few times. I just couldn't quite remember the details. Yeah, it's one of those things Japanese works are weirdly fond of, like Schrodinger's cat.
Okay, well, I will go forward with this knowledge in mind and use it in my media analysis from now on.
Which I do
At least
laugh
my Japanese
about
media analysis.
because the whole point of Schrodinger's cat was Schrodinger showing how absurd the notion of that sort of thing is. But people use it uncritically, which I think they do it in fun ways sometimes. I'm not dissing it. It's just kind of funny that he'd be like, no, that wasn't the point.
Yeah. Also, mini rant incoming. The observer effect does not mean you literally looking at it changes it. It means that to observe something in the first place, you have to interact with it somehow, whether that's bouncing light off of it or some other bullshit. That's what it means. It's not that like your eyes are magic and change the state of things. It's that to see it, you must first shine a light at it and the light interacts with it. All right? Damn it.
The light interacts with it, and thus it changes things.
Or, fucking electrons or gravity or whatever the fuck you're using to sense and detect this thing and observe it. You're still using some type of energy or other interaction to do so.
Yeah, like
even if it's not
basically
immediately
you
obvious.
cannot view something from a void. Because there has to be some information you can get out of it.
Which means it must interact with you and you must interact with it.
Yep.
Hence the observer effect. When you observe something, you change it because you interact with it to observe it.
Yep.
Damn. Ah. because people like constantly misunderstanding this. Every time I think of it, I'm gonna bring it up on stream. I know I've done it before, but
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. It's one of those things people definitely misunderstand and then make into a magical thing about quantum theory.
like if you want to like build like an actual magic system out of some observer effect, like some pop culture idea of observer effect, go right ahead. That
Yeah,
sounds interesting as fuck. But you know, if you're doing sci-fi or something like that, please don't.
yeah. Yeah, like, absolutely. Like, you know, making actual content out of conspiracy theories, past or present, can be interesting. Uh, making things work from the past, ideas that don't, like making the humors at least somewhat real in your fantasy setting. But anyway, to bring an end to Battler's weak side, to bring an end to your hesitation.
And that is why you called the two of them here.
Oh, what I always want to see someone play with is the old idea that you die if you went over 35 miles per hour.
I wonder how people thought about that because biomechanically speaking, it is strictly possible for humans to exceed that in running. It's just that like we're kind of shit at getting to that level.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that a human hasn't been perceived to have gone that speed at the time. So it was one of those assumptions that, oh, if you go that fast, you'll actually get hurt. Or in this case, die. It also might be that, you know, like I'd have to look into it, but, like one of the ways you'd be going your absolute fastest is if you fell from a great height. And I'm sure that concussions were observed at that great height.
You know, that's fair. Yeah. Or you know, your body fucking exploding whenever you hit the ground.
Yeah.
To end the eternal torture between the two of you.
Huh.
All right.
So which is it? Was she always here and was the one with the, was she getting her magic from Lambda Delta, or did Lambda Delta come along?
I have no idea. Those two will bring you either victory or defeat, but either result will now be one filled with compassion.
I think that's meant to be not. Interesting.
You should understand that as well by now.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I have to assume that's not now.
Fucking weird.
Typos happen, I suppose.
Yeah.
Virgilia faced Beato, whom she had come to adore like a daughter, with cold eyes that she must not have shown often. It was like the gaze of a mother who, instead of scolding, silently urges their child to recognize their mistake.
Beatrice, how long do you intend to stay there, neither alive nor dead? Not ascending to heaven nor ascending to or descending to hell. There we go. There in a daze on the peak of Mount Purgatory. Okay, you melodramatic fuck.
I like it, but yes, that
I
is
can't
very
complain. I do that
melodramatic.
shit too, but
Oh, she tried to make a sound.
I get to make fun of Virgilia for doing shit like that because I do it too, okay? I am Virgilia. I have guided him through purgatory and brought him to you at its peak. And you are Beatrice. You must choose whether to take his hand and rise up to heaven, or embrace him and fall into hell.
Interesting. Did you know that the tribulations of purgatory, which lies in the gap between heaven and hell, are sometimes more torturous than even hell itself? Yeah, yeah, like some of the shit in Dante's Inferno, like the actual book, well, set of books, but yeah, there's some fucked up shit in there. On the gates of hell, it is written that you must abandon all hope. A human without hope can accept their suffering and give up. However, the denizens of purgatory have hope. I mean, fair, but I also mean like the various versions of Mount Purgatory that were in Dante's Inferno. Because there was the descent into hell, and then going through purgatory, and then going through heaven. Which, yeah, heaven is very trippy. If you folks at home want to know something about that, look at Overly Sarcastic Productions videos on that. Red goes over it and gives you the broad strokes.
You check if Red has some more videos for me.
A hope of possibly reaching heaven, a hope that cannot be abandoned, and that tortures them. Even in the depths of hell, no
Okay,
greater
good.
torture device
Sorry.
exists than the single pin known as hope.
Sorry, my OBS decided not to register what I said, or at least it didn't show it on the audio monitor, and then the captioner didn't either. So I was like, "Oh fuck! Did my fucking microphone die midstream? Please no."
Thankfully not.
Anyhow, leap from the cliff of purgatory. Okay, we're just mixing fucking mythologies now. Gotcha. Cast open Pandora's box and cast aside your fleeting, fragile, foolish hope and all the longing it brings. You're afraid, aren't you, of opening the box?
Beato was silent, but with a single tear she nodded slightly.
Is the cat in the box alive or dead? The time has now come to check. If the cat is dead, hold a funeral for it quickly and have it rise to heaven. If the cat is alive, feed it quickly and give it all of your affection. Whether it is alive or dead, your cat box eternally desecrates the cat. Those two have brought you the key to the box that you were too afraid to open.
Beatrice, the time has come for you to die. I hope that your heart will be stopped by the hand of the person you desire.
at midnight.
Of course. We're going through all 12 tones, okay. The Great Court of Illusions.
Where the fuck did the past 50 minutes go? I feel like we just started the stream.
I'm with you there, actually.
What the fuck? Time! What is time?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it goes quickly when we're chatting, but damn.
Shit.
All of the pieces from the game board were gathered. All of the humans, furniture, witches, and the witches on an even higher level had gathered in one place. Of course, a church. That place was like
That's a cool as fuck set piece, though. That is excellently designed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, it is fucking cool. That place was like a solemn cathedral with an unbelievably high ceiling. White stonework, golden ornaments.
Alright, that gives me an idea. Hold on. Oh.
Though there were windows, there were no entrances nor exits. I guess it's a place you have to apparate into.
Alright, there we go.
It was a strange place. But for some reason, no one wondered where this strange place was, because they were not given the right to think of this place as strange. Yeah, the ultimate invite-only venue.
Pieces, are you all gathered? All present, ma'am. Good work. What a spectacle. I wonder just how many people there are here. No matter how many we see, every being outside the 18 is an illusion. Making you acknowledge them is what my game's all about.
The three witches were seated on a special... The three witches were seated on special thrones set upon a very high balcony. In the center sat the Game Master, Lambda Delta, and on either side of the semicircular balcony sat Bern Castell and Beatrice, facing each other. Below them, Erica ran forward, lifted the corners of her skirt, and bowed respectfully.
Great Lady Lambda Delta, I thank you for granting my request for an assembly. And Great Lady Bern Castell, my master. You can expect great things from this assembly.
I think there's definitely going to be a spectacle involved, but I don't think it's going to go the way you think, Erica.
Yeah, probably not.
Because your lot is to get dunked on constantly.
You've been stuffed into the role of the donkey. Not donkey, but I don't expect Captain to get that.
Yeah.
Though it may be only for a short while, I will most certainly make you forget about the poison that torments you. Yes, great things are what I expect. Because you are my double.
That says some awful things about what goes on inside your noggin.
And my piece.
Erica and Bern
Other
Castell.
piece, captioner. Other piece. Thank you. Sorry,
Erica
go
and
ahead.
Bern Castell exchange nasty smiles that would make anyone want to avert their gaze.
Hear me, witches, humans. That's a pretty good name. Court of Illusions.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
hereby announce the assembly of a witches' coven. The Court of Illusions is now in session.
The ruler of the game spoke with words of power. Though her words were spoken inside such a vast space, they rang out with the force of a bell in a bell tower.
Your lives and roles within this game are over. The fifth game is hereby closed, and the 2400 hour session shall begin. Answer session. There we go. Yeah. I'd love to get started right away, but why don't we have everyone quickly introduce themselves first? Since there's so many of us here. I am Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty and the new ruler of this game. Bern Castell, Witch of Miracles. My goal is to penetrate Beatrice's witch illusions. Penetrate bad treaties. Okay. That's a new one.
Amazing. I am. I have feelings about that word choice considering Erica's intellectual violator
That's true.
line.
Yeah. I am the Endless Witch, Beatrice. My goals are to assert my own existence and to protect Natsuhi and Kinzo. Damn it, Captioner. Not protect Nazi. Lord Battler, you come next in rank.
I'm Ushiromiya Battler. I'm fighting Beatos. No, I'm fighting the witches. That's all. That's not how you really feel, my guy. I know that, you know that.
As I believe you know, you joined in on this game partway through. This means that at the time the Coven commenced, you were not yet a participant. Do I need to explain further?
I get it. You mean I don't have the right to speak for the time being, right?
Thank you for understanding. Damn it. Speak more, Battler, so I can finish chewing first.
Even though Battler held a rank second only to the witches, he sat on the foremost pew, with the other relatives all by himself at one end. He met the gaze of Beato, who was up on the balcony.
You could have simply said you were my arch enemy.
Well, you
Fuck,
aren't
now I gotta listen to Arc Enemy. Alright, it's a really good band.
Well, you
Just
aren't.
go for the earlier stuff because that's when the vocalist that I know was there.
Yeah. Well, you aren't necessarily my only enemy.
Hmm. Let's take this game back. It belongs to us.
Yeah. I almost said that I was fighting Beto's witch illusions. Originally, Beto was my one and only enemy, but now Erica and those witches who started tampering with Beto's tail are my enemies as well. Who should I fight and how? Maybe it's a good thing I won't have the right to speak for a while. I'll keep a cool head and calmly watch everything unfold.
Battler, cool head. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Ah, Battler, your lack of self-awareness, my guy.
Granted, he could just be stating his aspirations, whether he realizes he'll fuck him up or not. I'm the detective and initiator of this coven, Furuto Erika. I will expose the culprit of the fifth game and bring this tale to a pleasing conclusion.
The only pleasing conclusion is you getting stuffed into a
Contusions,
locker.
yes. Contusions also fit.
Erica greeted the witches above her and the humans behind her once again.
I'm looking forward to your performance too. Okay, remaining pieces, introduce yourselves in whatever order and make it quick. Humans, introduce yourselves, all of you.
Urged by 45 to introduce himself, Kinzo stood up. I am Ushiromiya Kinzo. I slipped out of the study window and am hiding somewhere on Rokenjima. Ushiromiya Kraus. I have been captured and am currently being confined somewhere.
Honestly, thank you for the recap, Ryukishi.
Yeah. We kind
I
of
needed
needed that.
this.
I am Ushiromiya Ava. I am alive. I'm Rudolph. The rest of us are all Ushiromiya's too, so let's just skip the family name. I'm Rosa. I was killed on the first Twilight. Jessica, same here, dead on the first Twilight. I'm George, likewise I died on the first Twilight. Maria, I died, but look, I'm here talking. See? Dying isn't a big deal, right?
I'm Ushiromiya Natsuki. I'm alive.
Hideyoshi here. I was killed just a short while ago. Kiri, I'm still alive. Nanjo, I am also hanging in there.
My name is Genji. I died on the first Twilight.
I'm Shannon. I'm still alive.
I'm Kennen. I'm also alive.
I'm Coda. Pleased to meet you, everyone. Poor fucking Coda. He is so deeply out of his element more than anyone else.
Yeah.
I am Kumasawa. Pleased to meet you.
Now, onto the witches. Everyone introduce yourselves.
Virgilia's group could also be seen. There was a second balcony different from the one Beto's group was on, which jutted out like a raised audience seating. They sat there looking down as though they were at a theater.
Because they basically are. My name is Virgilia. I am Beatrice's Master of Magic. I am very cheese Master of Magic. Excellent. Thank you, Captioner. Beautiful.
Lovely captioner.
I'm Gap. Making corpses disappear is my job. Run away. I am charged with making the tea. Is that a different graphic for the introduction of these guys?
No, that seems about the same.
Because it looks different to my eyes for some reason. I don't know why. I greet you in the name of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. I served in the murder of Hideyoshi on the Second Twilight. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory, right here. I wish I had like a multiplier button that I could press to
Yeah.
can do that. Damn it. Let us then have Lady Erica's furniture introduce themselves.
Gertrude. I am an assistant inquisitor. Cornelia. I am an assistant inquisitor. The two of them could also be seen on the second floor balcony. They sat apart from Virgilia's group. Then, Delanor, who was seated between the two, slowly stood up. She had a presence of dignity about her, as though she was overseeing everything from that place. Delanor A. Knox is my name. I am Lady Erica's primary assistant. Battler, I am expecting a lot of you. Please do not disappoint me. Let's just both give it all we've got.
Most of the time, there will be no need for Delanor to step forward. However, when the witch side plays around with ugly word games, I'll need to have Delanor pass judgment on them. The miracle in the study will not occur again.
Are you sure about that?
And finally, let us introduce ourselves. We are the Chester Sisters of Imperial Guards, who have been tasked with management of proceedings at this coven. Hello, everyone. Yeah, you're not getting the sound out of me. This ends the introductions of all pieces.
Yeah, I kind of figured I wasn't
Yeah.
even going to ask.
There is no one alive who could get that sound out of me. Well, I guess someone filthy rich could do it. If they just wanted to pay me a huge amount to do it, that would work. Anyhow, a total of 38 people are present here.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a few people to be juggling in the middle of a dialogue scene.
The number of characters was 38 if you only took the fifth game into account. But if you added all the pieces who appeared in previous games too, it would probably rise even higher. This mysterious game, which had so often been likened to chess, now had far more pieces than a chessboard.
Good. Then I guess we'll get started. Initiator, please begin. Oh, excuse me, you, the goat over there. Refill my drink. And some popcorn for me.
Fucking nerds.
Oh, that's right. It was you who decided that popcorn was the only proper accompaniment to the demonic theater, after all.
It's true, I've got some right here.
I'd have to go to the kitchen to get some. Fuck that. I ain't waddling in there right now. Yes, I intend to enjoy this. And could I get some black tea and mustard miso? Mustard miso. Ugh. Erica, begin.
It's probably fine. It's probably like mustard seed or something, not like the condiment mustard, because that would be gross.
Yeah, I don't think mustard seed and miso would go well together, but like personal preference.
Fair enough.
I'm already starting to get bored. Yes, my master, leave it to me. Okay, just get on with it, bitch. Order, silence.
At the sound of her voice, the Chester sisters' troops straightened up, lifted their right knees, and stamped down hard on the floor with their heels. It became a low, deep rumble in the ground, which instantly erased all chatter in the cathedral, and turned their eyes and expressions even more hollow and empty. The room fell back into silence, almost as though they were a collection of wax models.
Well, this version of themselves aren't much more than that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Amidst this heavy silence, there was the sound of footsteps, as Erica walked out into the center where she could catch everyone's attention. When she signaled with her chin, a goat attendant appeared from behind a pillar. And
These
carried...
goats need a better tailor.
Yeah, they do. And carried a single plain chair out into the front and center of the room. It must have been the defendant's chair. Interesting. Well, honestly, I'm just glad the goats don't have the same tailor as Gap.
I think I would prefer that, actually.
Fair
At least
enough.
then I wouldn't be able to. I would be able to stop thinking about like how every time they shift, their fucking like suits must tear. Like, they breathe in and like every single fucking button pops off their chest. Strangle themselves with their own damn tie just because like they didn't get a tie properly sized for them or something. Gods. I, Furuto Erica, will make an accusation. The murderer of the fifth game is Ushiromiya Nazi. You are the culprit.
Erica
We know
pointed
that
at
she
Nazi
isn't,
and
though.
spoke. Do we know that?
We at the very least know that she did not kill Hideyoshi.
Do we know that?
We saw it from her perspective. Like, unless she lit. I mean, yes, we could technically have like that deep of an unreliable narrator going on, but we haven't seen any evidence of that yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's the same thing like going on in the first Twilight. She was locked in her room the entire time.
The Nazi waxed all alone, twitched, and regained its expression. It was an expression of panic.
Justice Sisters, please take the defendant to her chair. Understood. Wait, what are you doing? Let go of me.
For 45 and 410 pinned Nazi's arms behind her back and led her to the chair at the center. Nazi resisted, but the Chester sisters were surprisingly strong and she couldn't do anything. She turned to the relatives for help, but they just remained silent like whacked models.
She's a 50-year-old fucking noble lady, and those two are ostensibly young and fit.
And yeah, military-esque, yeah.
Strong my ass. I, Furuto Erika, will now reconstruct why the crime was only possible for Ushiromiya Natsuhi. Ushiromiya Natsuhi. No. No, Captioner. Please stop. Beito, of course you'll be defending her, right? Naturally. I am the Ushiromiya family alchemist, Beatrice the Golden. Furuto Erika, I accept your challenge. I shall take these false accusations you're trying to place on my master and tear them apart. I have a question for these people.
Uh-huh.
Why is Battler not allowed to speak yet? Because he sat back down at the table right as Furuto Erika was giving her accusation. Since it's starting off with that, it's sort of like he should be active already at this point.
Maybe there's going to be an accusation in the human world. Because that's where we see it, so there might be just a secondary accusation.
Normally these things, or at least so far in Umineko, these things have been like happening like concurrently, right? Like the magic world and the mortal world happen at the same time, sort of thing. In fact, like before, I'm pretty sure we had one where it swapped back and forth between the two perspectives during the scene.
Oh yeah, that was the window scene.
Yeah. Fear not, Nazi. You are my master. And you are the true head with the one-winged eagle engraved in your heart. Do not fear a crime you have not committed.
At those words, Nazi jerked back and gulped. Her panic finally disappeared, and she stood up straight.
That's true. I am Ushiromiya Natsu. I will confront any challenger who would dare blaspheme the name of Ushiromiya. How can you make such an empty boast in a situation like this? You really are the bullied kid in every single fragment.
Guess she would know that, yeah.
Yeah? So, Byrne, make your claims. I, Byrne Castell, claim that a human, Ushiromiya Natsu, is the culprit of this game. And you too, Beito, okay? I, Beatrice, claim that the culprit in this game is not human. I am the culprit.
Bern Castell, who smiled daringly, and Beatrice, who smiled firmly, crossed gazes.
Do you hear this, witches, humans? Two claims have appeared for a single truth. Is the culprit the human Ushiromiya Natsuhi? Or is the culprit the witch Beatrice? If the witch wins, the truth of the fifth game will disappear into darkness. If Erika wins, the witch illusion will be wiped from the game board. In other words, for Beato alone, this is a battle where losing is not an option. Are you prepared? And what am I supposed to be preparing myself for? This is what I've been craving all along.
If Erica were to win, witch illusion would be destroyed. That would mean the existence of the witch would be denied. Beato was fighting for her life. However, this wasn't the only time she had been fighting for her life. It had always been a life or death struggle, even when she fought with Battler. Because if Battler had won and broken through the witch illusion in any of the previous games, Beato would have been destroyed. That's dirty. Erica's the only one with nothing to lose if she fails.
That's not exactly true. Yeah, thank you, Virgilia. I wouldn't be so certain of that. Lady Berncastel is not a compassionate person. I can't imagine she'd give any warm treatment to a piece that didn't perform as she had hoped.
It was inconceivable that the ruthless Berncastel would place no blame at all on a piece who had suffered defeat. Erica was probably fighting for her life just the same. The two claims would clash and one would be weeded out. One would fall and would not leave this place alive. The only ones who truly had nothing to lose were those witches.
Okay, no problems. Now begin. In that case, I would like to go first. The murder of Hideyoshi is very simple. It should be impossible to suspect anyone other than Natsuhi. Except for the victim and Natsuhi, all of us were in the same room, correct?
It really was simple. Everyone except Natsuhi was in the parlor. And because it was so simple, it was decisive.
No matter how you look at it, the one who killed Hideyoshi was Natsuhi. No, it's the other way around. No matter how you look at it, no one except for Natsuhi could have killed Hideyoshi. There's no room for discussion or debate. Big doubt. I'm telling you, you're mistaken. It may be true that I don't have an alibi. However, I don't believe a lack of an alibi proves that one is the culprit. I understand that Natsuhi is the only one without an alibi. But wait. The scene of the murder was a locked room. It should have been impossible for anyone, including Natsuhi, to have committed the crime in that room.
About that, Beato.
Except for me, since I could have done it with magic. I'll explain the locked room trick, the how done it, later. We are starting with the whodunit for the time being. So, for the reason I just mentioned, it's impossible to suspect any character except Natsuki for the murder of Hideyoshi. My lady, it may be dangerous to press any further on this. I agree. It's a fact that Natsuki was hiding in the closet of Hideyoshi's room.
Okay, you do know about that.
Yeah, I figured they did. If they use a repetition request to check her location, we'll be cornered. Probably. Lady Lambda Delta is the ruler of this game. Which is exactly what she did.
Yep.
But apparently you guys don't know about that. That it was her that called. Or set up the call, at least.
Mm-hmm.
If it suits her fancy, she'll set up Nazi as the culprit regardless of the facts.
If the typhoon were to pass and the police were to come and perform a scientific investigation, perhaps the true culprit would be identified and the false accusation against Natsuki lifted.
I don't think so.
However, the police would
First off,
never
ACAB,
arrive.
but secondly,
Hmm?
first off, ACAB, but secondly, the cops are generally pretty lazy about this kind of thing. Like, this is pretty
Yep.
classic. You hear this all the time in like false convictions and what you call them, cold cases and shit like that, where people just ignore certain aspects and don't fully like investigate.
Yep.
Happens all the time, which is garbage that happens, but it does.
And Japan is pretty bad about this in that the conviction rate is incredibly high. Like, what is it, 98%? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And this is specifically because they don't even make an arrest or charge until like they're sure that they can get a conviction in the first place. So, unless the case is genuinely very open and shut, things just don't happen. Nothing happens. At least this is what I've heard from Japanese people, anyway.
Yep.
Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah. However, the police would never arrive at this closed-off Rokujima. In other words, the real truth would never be revealed. Inside a cat box that will never be opened, false charges that everyone accepts have exactly the same value as the truth.
I would not say so, but sure. Their aim is most likely to use the simple murder of Hideyoshi to give the impression that Natsuhi is the culprit, or Lady Natsuhi is the culprit. Before moving on to the first Twilight's reconstruction, which has more uncertain elements. It's not good at all to proceed while under the Game Master's suspicions. We should take the initiative. Indeed. Lady Lambda Delta. As you are well aware, a fair number of murders were committed during the fifth game. And we are skipping the rather lengthy chunk of time from midnight until the early morning. Skipping to Hideyoshi's murder and stepping backwards and forwards in time will only lead to confusion. It is my belief that we should follow events chronologically and in order, though the decision is yours, of course. Objection. Chronological order has no significance in the process of building a case against the culprits. Objection. Furudo Erika is trying to manipulate perception in her favor by mixing up the chronological sequence. No thoughts, head empty.
Yeah.
I don't like it when things get all muddled either. I accept Beato's claim. Erika, start with the first twilight instead of jumping to the seconds.
I definitely saw Erica click her tongue. Now I understand. This is how the tales of Rokujima are created. After being guided by Virgilia and meeting Beatrice, now I stand here, at this peak from which I can see everything below me. I finally understand the truth of this world. This is that thing you talked to me about before.
Yes, that's right. Truth is very fragile in this place.
As long as each side makes its own claim, different truths can exist at the same time. Yes, this really is a trial. Both sides put forth their own truths. This here truly is the brown tube trial that Virgilia once used as an analogy.
Then I will follow Lady Lambda Del's orders and start from the first crime at the first twilight. As you know, at midnight on October 4th, the first day. Following a short break in the family conference, Natsuki left on her own, saying that she was going to bed early. Therefore, her alibi is completely lost from that time until the next morning. Thanks for the flashbang, fucker.
Yeah, the culprit is Uchirumi and Natsuki. This is because Natsuki is the only one without an alibi.
Oh, is that so? I believe there are several people besides Natsuki who have dubious alibis. Unless you can clear suspicion from all of them, I cannot allow you to call Natsuki the culprit.
The culprit
Damn
cannot
it!
be definitely said to be Nazi as long as there are other people without alibis. Natsuki was the only one
Okay.
without an alibi between 2400. This is being used as a basis for claiming that she is the culprit. However, that cannot be said for certain as long as the following possibilities exist. Is it not possible that Battler and the guest house committed the crime? Is it not possible that Nanjo and the guest house committed the crime? Is it not possible that Goda and the guest house committed the crime? Is it not possible that Kumasawa, Genji, Kraus, other people in the mansion besides Nazi committed the crime? Is it not possible that George and the others were actually just playing dead? What if the second floor was reachable without going past Erica in the lounge? What if the crime was committed before 2400? What if it was committed after 3 o'clock? What if the crime was committed outside the interval of 2400 to 1 o'clock? What if someone in the mansion committed the crime between 2400 and 3? You alright there?
Damn you, Lambda Delta, why did you start speaking when I was away from the fucking computer? Fucking across the room. Anyway, true, if Erika wants to claim that Natsuki is suspicious, she should first show that everyone besides Natsuki has an alibi. Right, Burn. Yes, of course. Erica will provide a complete explanation that covers everyone.
Culprit is Natsuhi, as we will prove everyone else has an alibi.
Of course, my master. In that case, I would like to explain things in order. Let's forget about Genji's murder for now and focus on the crime in the guest house. The inclination here is to suspect the servants who were in the guest house, yes? On that night, on that night, Goda and Kumasawa were in the guest house. Isn't that right, you two?
She turned to face the direction where those two people were seated, and just those two wax models came back to life. When they weren't allowed to speak, they probably weren't even granted a soul. In that case, it would have been much better if Natsuhi's soul could simply have disappeared as well. Natsuhi was in the defendant's chair, kept her soul the whole time, was constantly hanging her head looking nervous. Goda hurried to his feet and answered Erika's question. Yes, that is correct. On that evening, I was alone in the guest house servant room. Well, look at my age. Staying up the night would be a heavy burden, so I returned to the servants' quarters in the guest house. And went to bed right away on my own. Yes, you'd better believe I did.
Doesn't that mean Goda and Kumasawa have lost their alibis? Kumasawa claims that she was sleeping alone in the servants' quarters. Goda claims he was alone in the servant room. Either of them should have had enough time to go to the cousin's room and commit murder.
Nonsense. Why would we do something like that?
But, like, why would Natsuhi?
Yeah, that's her fucking child.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, that's right. How could we ever kill another person?
No, that's what everyone says, but, like, straight up, you didn't have any fucking motive, so. As far as we know, anyway. Natsuhi said it all. Both Kumasawa, who was sleeping alone in the servants' quarters, and Goda, who was alone in the servant room, are in the exact same situation as Natsuhi in her room. Both of them have lost their alibis. Have no fear. I guarantee that neither of those two are murderers. Firstly, Kumasawa, following dinner, she left the mansion with me and the others and went to the guest house. Entered the servants' quarters and slept until morning. Yeah, but did you stand outside the fucking room and just make sure that she never left? Or something? I'm pretty sure you didn't. So you can't actually guarantee that. Fucking weirdo. Anyway, it's the same for Pagoda. Once he finished with his job, he chatted with us in the lounge and went to sleep afterwards. Neither of them had the opportunity to commit murder. So we're finally here. I see that it's time for me to stand up as well. Your turn is already over, Harika. Go summon that bodyguard you rely on so much.
Beto glanced at where Lanor sat on the second floor balcony. However, Delanor just stared back with those usual expressionless eyes.
What are you eating?
Popcorn.
I have cookies and cream ice cream.
Oh, you bitch.
It's not like a particularly good brand, but it's all right. It's Blue Bunny.
Ice cream's ice cream, unless it's really shit ice cream.
No, I mean, yeah. Even if it's shit ice cream, it's generally still ice cream, right? Like, but I also can't eat too much because I'm fucking lactose intolerant.
Fair.
I had to keep myself to a certain amount to make sure that my stomach doesn't get upset with me. Repetition requested. We have absolute proof of Goda and Kumasawa's alibis. Decline repetition. Why give a hint to an enemy? There's no way we'd answer. Did you hear that, Lady Lambda Delta? They say they have no proof. Is it acceptable for them to claim that Goda and Kumasawa have alibis without proof? Good point. What do you say, Burn, Erica? How can you claim that Goda and Kumasawa have alibis? Stay out of this, Erica. My opponent is Dlanner over there. A mere human like you is not fit to argue with a witch. No, there's no need for Delano to step forward. Damn it, Erica. Let her step forward so I actually have a chance to eat this fucking ice cream in front of me. You bitch. In fact, it's precisely this, a mere human defeating a witch, that will spell the end for the witch illusion. So go ahead. Use the red and blue as much as you like. I'm ready for you.
In response to Erica's challenge, Beto smiled boldly yet gracefully and slowly stood up. And they glared at each other between the floor and the balcony. Actually, do you want to take a quick bio break, both to finish your ice cream and so I can do biological things?
Well, there's no way I'm fucking finishing this anytime soon. I've got what is this? 48 fluid ounces is a quart and a half. Quart and a half liters.
All
I'm not finishing this. I'm just skimming off the top a little bit. But we can't take a break so you can go to the bathroom. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I will take the opportunity to listen to a song by Arc Enemy.
All right. Be right back, folks. Just a 5-minute break at most.
We'll be right back. Returned. Hope you enjoyed the song.
Yes, we are back.
There you go.
Which song did you play from Arch Enemy?
No Gods, No Masters.
Excellent.
It's probably my favorite song, but it's been a while, so I can't remember.
Yeah. Bladders emptied, drinks refilled. Well, let's go.
Well done. Congratulations. Goda and Kumasawa have no alibis. The two of them were in the guest house and could have reached the cousin's room to commit murder at any time. Unless you can eliminate that possibility, you cannot treat Natsuhi as the culprit.
Beto's blue true struck out rapidly.
Fucking cat.
The curtain had finally dropped and the battle had begun.
A human like Erika can't use any red. How is she? How could she turn this around without hauling Glanor? What? We've seen humans use red before.
Yeah, usually when repeating something that someone who was already spoken in red had said, but she's outright used red to indicate her authority as the detective.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like disallowed because it's like a formal session of court sort of deal.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know. I would have to assume that's the case because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense. Though Erika cannot use it, her master, Lady Berncastel, can. We mustn't let our guards down. In that case, it's not a fucking What is going on, Ryukishi? What's going on with your world building? Blue truth, valid. What'll you do, Burn? Will you or Delanor step in instead?
It is still not my turn, and it is not Lady Berncastel's turn either.
Yes, that's right. There's no need for us to show up for something like this. This is important precisely because a mere human like Furuto Erika will defeat you, Beato. Because you'll be defeated by a human, we'll know. We'll all know that the fake witch who calls herself Beatrice the Golden is nothing more than a subhuman illusion.
Yeesh.
Hey,
Rude.
bitch. Calm down. Oh, forgot to do this when we got back from the break. But remember to use your fucking Twitch Prime subs. Not necessarily on me or Mal or anyone, but just find yourself a streamer that you like or a bunch of streamers you like and just like rotate them. It's free money. You already pay for it, so you might as well just give them to the streamer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It forces the dragon to pay us.
Yeah, absolutely.
1 second, pouring hot water from my kettle. There we go. If you really can do that, it'll be seriously interesting. Okay, Erika, let's see what you've got. I will begin with Kumasawa. It is extremely simple.
All right.
Kumasawa, stand. Kumasawa, from the time you went to bed last night to the time you were informed about the crime in the morning, did you ever leave the servants' quarters?
No, I was sound asleep until morning. I really was. God, that was me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you okay? The truth is, after dinner last night, I had a chat with Ava, and she told me something very interesting. I was wondering what the fuck you were doing. I was wondering why you were distracted. Thanks for the cash, nerd.
You're very welcome.
And I tested it out myself. What are you talking about? You don't mean... That's right. It's what cornered and sealed Kinzo in the study. I learned that you can create a seal by putting something between a door and the frame. Yeah, we did see that, but didn't we see that it was also broken?
Specifically on Genji's store.
Okay, okay.
But
Because
apparently she
I do
did it
remember
to,
one of them being fucking broken, so like,
yeah. But apparently she did them to the other two as well. Are you kidding? Did she actually do that to the servants' quarters where Kumasawa was sleeping?
so I want to know what her reasoning is for doing that in the first place because this was before any murders or indication of hostile intent.
Seriously.
Metagaming, metagaming, that's not allowed. Fuck off.
Yeah. But of course, the DM's girlfriend's gonna get away with metagaming.
It's true. Erica was in the guest house, so there's no obstacle to her having been capable of that. After all, it was an unsettling night and a massive amount of gold had just been discovered. Many sorts of crimes might have occurred. Where there is a detective, there will be a crime. That's some fucking blue line shit right there.
A little bit, yeah.
Ugh. That hurt my soul to say. Or what passes as my soul, anyway. Ugh. I foresaw that some kind of crime would take place. So I used this to steal away people whose alibis might otherwise be lost.
Erica held a small, folded piece of brown paper high in the air.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this and then go back to reading. But it feels like the only reason the mortal side can actually fight back at all is because the witches do not use the full extent of their abilities to gather information.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it.
Like, in what fucking universe would a witch like Beatrice not know that Erica had sealed those doors?
Seriously.
Like, should she not have, the various insects and bugs and mice and pests and everything else around the area under her thumb? That's classic witch shit. What the fuck? Why is that not happening?
It really is.
It's
My
because fucking Beato is just like not doing that. Just straight up not deciding to do that.
my only assumption is Beto kind of only knows what the accused who is using her existence knows.
I would assume so as well, but that also leans too far, I think, into the idea that witches and the supernatural are just straight up not real in this.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that
They're just like
necessarily,
being used as cover.
but I do think there are different versions of Beato, and this version of Beato absolutely is an illusion. She even calls herself the illusion side.
That's true, but she's also a piece right now, which should be just as real as anything else. Like,
Eh,
her sitting at the table is not what makes her piece real, right?
that's true.
What makes her piece real is the fact that it actually like acts and does things and finds out information and gives advice and shit like that.
True enough.
I'm not like complaining or anything like that. I'm just like speaking my thoughts and current
Oh, yeah,
understanding
absolutely.
out loud.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving kind of my thoughts, my counter thoughts and understanding too. I know you're not complaining.
I know. I just gotta say that for like people who are like just now showing up or what's going on with that, or people that haven't watched in a while. This is what I do.
Yep,
Just
yep,
say my thoughts out loud.
yep. We are just doing the thinky thoughts. There is not bad storytelling going on here, as far as we can tell.
So far, at least, yes. After I watched Kumasawa, who returned to the guest house with me, say goodnight and enter the servants' quarters, I used I used this to seal the door. Then, in the morning, when the crime was discovered and caused a big uproar, I immediately went to check Kumasawa's quarters. Where I confirmed that the seal was still intact. Therefore, I can prove that I can prove Kumasawa's alibi.
This is subject to all the shit we already say about putting it back.
Yeah. Although, so her seal had her handwriting on it. You would have to forge her handwriting.
Yeah.
Remember, it was a bit of like tape or something like that that tore, like a adhesive piece of paper that would tear easily, rather than something that falls like the receipt.
Yeah, though it doesn't specify she did that to all the doors. It might have been that she only sealed Genji's door that way.
That's possible, but I think the assumption is that the seals are all the same.
All right, well, let's see.
Get out of here with your fucking flashbangs!
Yeah, so just eliminating the Kumasawa possibility.
At least also mark the box. It's a check box for a reason. Come on. Good. A wonderful alibi. Absolutely airtight. Kumasawa returned to the guest house with Erika, went to the servants' quarters to sleep, and never left the room until morning. In other words, after Kumasawa returned to the guest house, she never went to the second floor until morning.
See, no. Erika is not doing it by herself. You were providing the red.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
The proof Erika had shown was elevated by Bern Castell and became red truth. This truth, which had become red, could no longer be overturned even by a veto. Yeah, see, so I mean, yes, I understand the human side without any red is at a huge disadvantage. But also, this is not Erika doing it by herself.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring so far. Quinn.
Gotcha. It's counter to how I interpreted what they said, but okay, fair enough. She's making her work for it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It just feels a little weird because, she said, like, no, I'm not going to give red, fuck you. And then she just gives red.
Yeah. In other words, in that instant, Kumasawa's perfect alibi had been destroyed, had been absolutely guaranteed.
Then what about Goda? Goda holed up in the servant room right after reaching the guest house. I sealed him up the same way. Then when Rosa returned at 1 a.m., I happened to notice her when I stepped out into the corridor. I let Goda, who was still in the servant room, know this. So we can guarantee that the crime happened, like that the murders happened after 1 a.m. Mm. All right. The seal was intact at that time, so from the time we arrived at the guest house until 1 a.m., Goda never left the servant room. And afterwards, he was with me in the lounge until 3 a.m. And after 3 a.m., I was upstairs, so I can guarantee that Goda didn't come up. The seal in this case is like irrelevant because Rosa died after 1 a.m., which means that the murders happened after 1 a.m. So all that really mattered there was that he was with Erica until 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
which is also when Battler returned, and they were already dead by then.
I guess they were just making sure that they couldn't say, oh, the murders just happened a little later than was assumed, or a little earlier than what was assumed, rather.
Yeah, but like Rosa would have crawled into bed with her dead daughter, right? She would have noticed. No matter how tired she was, she would have like put her hand in like fucking cold blood.
This is true.
She would have like laid down in cold blood. So like they had to have happened between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Of course, we don't have strict confirmation that they were already dead by the time Battler got back, but like pretty fucking sure that they were already dead by the time he got back. Because that would be the more traumatizing option for him.
Yeah.
And I know how Ryukishi does this right now.
Yeah. It's always the more traumatizing option.
Because like they can't murder Battler because he's important to the story, so Battler can't die until the end of the tale. Each episode, he can't die until the end. I don't know like why someone would go in there to kill them after Battler got there and not also kill Battler. Because the only reasons that they would have would be for Nazi, it would be to protect the secret. But like other than that, it would be like to claim the gold, which you would have to fucking kill Battler for, right?
Yeah,
like,
you'd have to kill Battler for it.
So it works out in the mortal world and in the witch. So like
my only thought process there would be if it was Kiri who was the murderer. And she was getting rid of anybody who could contest it, basically.
I don't think she would do that, but yeah. That's strictly possible, yes.
Yeah, like I'm going strict possibility, not necessarily how I think this went down.
Anyway, because she definitely could not have done it herself unless like she left the room with someone else who would be guaranteeing her alibi for it or whatever.
Yeah. Which I mean, someone Rudolph would, but
of course he would. Yeah, so the only two motivations, or I guess so, three motivations, including Kiri's there, but Kiri's is a subset of the second.
Yeah.
And neither of them would allow them to go into that room and not kill Battler if their goal was, if he was in there at the time. Because the witch version also relies on the real version in order to cause the illusion in the first place, regardless of whether magic is real or not.
Yeah, it relies on the dual reality. If you manage to emphasize the reality of one or the other, they collapse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I talked myself into like knowing for absolute fact that like, they were already dead by the time Battler got back. Cool. Excellent. Gut feeling has been retroactively reasoned out. Excellent. Erica's seal proves that Godo was holed up in the servant room until 1 a.m., and Erica can testify to his alibi from then until 3 a.m. because she was passing the time in the lounge with him. And after that point, he never set foot upstairs until the morning after. Erica can attest to this as well. In other words, after Godo returned to the guest house, he never went up to the second floor until morning. I might translate that particular usage of that word in this context as to repeat rather than in other words rather.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like it would just flow a little bit better in English. Red Truth Valet. Well done, Erica.
Maybe once again would work in that context as well.
Yeah, that would also do it.
Yeah.
I think saying it as to repeat though would be better narratively and thematically because they're literally repeating something,
Yeah, like
repeating what they already
repetitions.
said in
Yeah.
red, and it's constantly being called like a repetition or repetition requested. Repeat this, blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
So I think saying to repeats or repeating or again, something like that.
I could see that.
The usage of like repeat in some way, the word itself would probably be best.
Yeah.
This isn't criticism. Well, I guess it is, but it's criticism of the translation, not the writing.
Yeah, and it's very light criticism. It's just going, hey, maybe this word, this is doing basically kind of an editorial, an editor thing.
Yeah, at most, it's me saying, if I was writing it, this is how I would phrase it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the alibis due to your seals on those doors have been acknowledged by Byrne and elevated to the status of Red Truth.
Yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, that is absolutely what they're doing here.
Thank you very much, my master. Okay, that explains why Battler can use the Red Truth. I am the detective, a being greater than humans who can invoke the Red Truth despite her humanity. Because Battler is usually playing the detective, like the detective role, and I think he even is now, he's just not. He just wasn't in control of his piece at the time, but his piece was still in the detective role. But that explains why he can use Red Truth despite being human. It's because he's a detective.
Yeah, though in his case, he usually repeats the Red Truth that other people have already said.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen anyone other than Erica and Battler use the Red Truth as humans, so that's probably what's going on here.
Yeah, would make sense.
Special privileges granted to the detective. And honestly, saying stuff in like Red Truth like that, or like narratively Red Truth, but not literally Red Truth, in other mysteries is common to the detective. Like something that they say becomes the foundation for the rest of the story, period, no matter how illogical it is.
Yeah, it becomes a foundation of facts.
Yeah, so that actually makes sense that the detective would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Thinking like trope wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or genre conventions, rather. There we go. You claim to be greater than human. You conceited brat. Live it another 1,000 years and then you can talk.
That is a serious angry face from her.
Stop it with the flashbangs, please. My eyes. It'll be a pain to have you try anything funny, so I'll make this clear now. In fact, I should have done this in the beginning. I apologize for being so roundabout. This is the state of the guest house at midnight. The gold had been found, an emergency family conference called, and Battler had gone to the mansion with the relatives. I, the three cousins, Dr. Nanjo, Goda, and Kumasawa remained in the guest house. I've already explained Goda and Kumasawa's alibis. I think better phrasing would be better phrasing would be I have already explained the alibis of Goda and Kumasawa.
Yeah,
Just to get around like the annoying uh possessive there. Because like that possessive always like bothers me in my brain meats.
fair enough.
I don't know. I have no idea if that's like grammatically correct or not. How she's speaking here, I have no idea. I don't remember my grammar that well.
I think
It's just like it bothers my brain.
yeah, I think it's grammatically correct, but I can see why it might tickle the brain meats in the bad way.
Yeah. George, Jessica, and Maria were playing cards in the cousins' room. I actually joined in for a bit, and I clearly witnessed that they were alive at that time. My master, I request that you repeat this. And like second thing bothers me about a lot of translations in from Japanese to English is they always say my master. No, just say master. The my is implied in English. You don't need it. Sorry, it's other thing that bothers me. And it's not just in this either. It
Yeah.
bothers me in like all the anime and comics and games and everything else that I've seen from Japan. It always translates like that for some reason, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Please stop. The my is implied. I don't remember what it's called in grammar, but it is an implied pronoun. You don't need to use it again. It's fine.
Yeah, at least not constantly.
Yeah. Every now and then it's fine. You know, when someone's trying to be like especially formal or suck up a lot or something like that. But the master is a title. Like you just anyway, whatever. Yes, I'll oblige you.
That's fair.
24.
Are you implying Erica is sometimes not sucking up?
That's true. You're not wrong. However,
They do it with other characters, but yeah, Erica is at all times the biggest suck up.
you are absolutely not wrong. It's the fucking meme image of her just like with a brown smudge on her nose. Whatever. At 2400 hours in the guest house, George, Jessica, and Maria were alive. And they were in the second floor cousin's room. Nanjo, Goda, and Kumasawa were on the first floor. And since there's no need to hold off on it anymore, I'll confirm that all the victims so far are dead. George, Jessica, Maria, Rosa, and Genji, these five really are dead. How could they be playing dead with their necks sliced open like that?
Yeah, those are some deep cuts.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, it was implied that like the blade got close to the spine, which is very deep. It's like a 3 or 4 inch cut, depending on like who it is. Like George will probably have a thicker neck than say Rosa, for example, and like then Maria was just like tiny little twig. Thank you for repeating, my master. I had to make these things clear, you see, or I might have started hearing about how they were already dead before I guaranteed everyone's alibi. Or that they weren't actually dead at all.
Unsurprisingly, Beto's side couldn't get away with the simple plan of claiming that the victims were only playing dead. But in order to overcome Goda and Kumasawa's alibis, it should have been possible to suppose that the crime occurred before those doors were sealed. However, the opponent had predicted this move perfectly. It had now been shown in red that the crime did not occur before the time period covered by Erika's alibis.
Got it. That's the last time the victims were confirmed to be alive. I wish you'd said that in the beginning. I already was, Lambda Delta. This means we can ignore everything that happened before midnight. To go even further, at 2400 hours, Nazi, Kraus, and Genji were in a corridor on the second floor of the mansion. All the remaining people were at the family conference in the dining hall. Isn't it very suspicious how everyone that could have given an alibi for Nazi is either dead or missing?
Yeah.
It's almost like she's being set up or something.
Lambda Delta.
All the remaining people were at the family conference in the dining hall. Of course, there could always be like a weird twist where it's like not actually a twist. The twist is just that it's exactly as it seems. But I don't think that's actually the case. Not at the moment, at least. Of course, at that point in time, no murder had occurred. Genji was also alive. Oh, I wonder why. It's almost like he didn't get murdered, which you just said in the previous sentence.
Yeah.
Damn it, Brinkestel, shut up.
I wonder if Battler's gonna go, I committed the murders.
I did it! I walked in and murdered all of my family, and then went to sleep in their blood. Fuck's sake.
Just specifically to spite Erika in particular.
That would be very funny. Yeah, to argue against that she would have to give more information about when the murder happened.
Yeah.
That isn't something Erika observed, but we can't move the game forward without establishing it. Okay, I'll acknowledge that red truth.
I mean, if the red truth wasn't true, you wouldn't be able to say it.
Yeah, you choke on your own fucking neck.
Yeah.
I've got a shoe, Erika. Don't tempt me. It's steel toe, too, alright? Thank you very much for that red truth, my master.
Since Erika had been in the guest house, it was only natural that she could explain the situation there. However, since she hasn't been in the mansion at the time, or hadn't been in the mansion at the time, explaining the situation over there would have been extremely difficult for her. Beato would normally have attacked there with the blue truth, saying that the people in the dining hall had all agreed to keep to the same story, and that someone might have snuck out of the dining hall and committed murder in the guest house. However, because Byrne had instantly settled that matter with the red truth, Beato had completely lost her chance to strike back. It does feel like they're going to break every possibility other than Battler being the murderer.
Mm-hmm. Damn you. Very troublesome to think we would be put at such a disadvantage.
How's it feel, nerds? Now you're on this side of the game. Thank you, Cap.
This is almost the exact opposite of Reach's fights with Battler. In fact, the situation might be even worse than it was back then. Yeah, because Beato was explicitly giving him an out to teach him how to play before they actually got down to it.
Yeah, teaching him how to play and trying to get him to understand whatever the fuck his sin is, which I still have, like, very few
I have
guesses.
no idea.
Yeah, I've got like, to quote an annoying orange, I've got concepts of ideas. At a glance, the fight between the two of them resembled our previous fights. However, there were some vital differences. The first was whether or not Beto was the game master. The Beto who fought against me was the game master, so she knew all the truth. That's why she was able to use the red truth at will. However, the current Beto isn't the game master. She's just a single piece on the game board. In other words, even Beto doesn't know the truth. Got it. So it's a game master privilege. So her perspective is limited.
Even so, it still feels like she should be able to use like familiars and shit like that to spy on people. But you know, that's just like one more tick in the pile of just like shit that like old magic witches were supposed to be able to do, but like aren't doing in this.
Yeah.
So of course, that's also made up for the fact that like the witches in this do anime shit. They do anime magic as well. So
it's true. So you could say that Beto is now in the same position I once was. Also, though Erica may seem to be in the same position I once was, the situation for her is totally different. She's connected to the witch called Berncastel.
Well, so were you at the time. You just didn't know that.
Even though she isn't the game master, she's capable of elevating Erica's statements to become Red Truth. Granted, she wasn't doing that part for Battler. Because of this, Erica can use the Red Truth even though she's neither a witch nor the game master. Beato, who's supposed to be the witch, possesses no truth or red she can use. And yet the detective, Erica, can use the Red Truth. The advantage has completely flipped over to the other side. I'd probably say that the current Beato is in a much worse position than I was when I fought with her. After I got used to the game, Beto stopped responding to my repetition requests. But in the beginning, she responded to almost all of them, giving me quite a few hints. That's why we were able to fight on par. However, Berncastel is different. She fully understands the rules of this game and is prepared to corner Beato without even a hint of restraint. And all this made me realize Beato was going easy on me so that we could fight on par with each other.
Damn it, Battler, you were so fucking dull. You barely got that now. Come on. This has become quite an interesting fight. I see, so I must fight from the position Battler once stood in.
You did it in red, too.
Yeah. What's insulted you and called you incompetent? I can handle much, much worse than this.
You were called incompetent in red, though. Like, how does that feel now that you know exactly how important the red is? Granted, you can overcome your incompetence after the fact, but you were incompetent then. Just imagine, like, some fucking magical entity comes down and just says in an
idiot.
an authoritative tone, "You are a motherfucking dumbass," and you know it's the truth, and it can be. It's like the absolute truth, not just an opinion.
It's now impossible to suspect Goda and Kumasawa. You can't win by arguing that point any longer. Thanks, Captain fucking Obvious. Yep, let's switch to a different approach.
You are incompetent is what happens when you fuck up and the witch side elevates that to the red. See, you say that, and now I need it to happen to Erica at least once.
It'll probably happen.
Maybe.
The way that things are going for Erica, she will get dunked on that hard at some point.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get dunked on.
Or maybe someone
hard.
will say it in blue and no one will ever like counter it with red. The next in line would probably be Nanjo. He was also in the guest house. Presumably, he would also have the skill necessary with a knife to cut something like that smoothly. I doubt it because I don't think he's a surgeon. But like, does the game know that doctors and surgeons are two different things? I don't know. Then maybe it doesn't. This is the trouble with like always like trying to analyze stuff is like you don't know if the not necessarily the author but the game itself does it know that these two things are different.
Yeah.
Because the author can know this just fine and just decide to conflate the two for the ease of like some story or whatever, right? Like we do that shit all the time. Anyhow, Nanjo was in the lounge with Erica, if I'm not mistaken. But the time periods before and after that should be wide open. That's right, I'll strike there. Nanjo, you were relaxing in the downstairs lounge of the guest house with Erica and Goda, correct?
Fun fact, there's exactly one thing that Ryokishi has said out loud doesn't factor into any of the mystery scenes, because it would ruin everything if he did. And that's the fact that you get wet when you go outside in a rainstorm. Fair enough, yeah. That would actively be a problem.
You know what? I think I even brought that up in the first couple of episodes.
You know, I think you did.
The thing like is like, but the blood would wash off of them in the storm.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, that's good to know. Actually, Quinn, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Quinn. That's good to know. And yeah, that's understandable because at that point, to find the murderer, you just look for a moist bitch.
Yeah, but the problem is everyone would be moist at that point.
Yeah, in reality, any scene where you don't know if someone went outside or not would be dead obvious because they'd be soaked. Yeah, that's very fair. That's very, very fair. Because, yeah, of course,
I definitely brought that shit up in the first couple of episodes. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. Because, yeah, you would definitely get soaked going from point A to point B, but they make a point of drying off at some point. And so if somebody who was inside the mansion and supposedly never left the mansion is a moist bitch, then you know they went outside.
Yeah, like when Cannon fucking died and the back door open and all that shit. I was just like, okay, I remember saying this. It's like, okay, just go look for the person that's wet. You'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
So they are perfectly. They've got everybody in this family and in this household has the ability to perfectly dodge raindrops. Okay.
Amazing. I love it.
Yes, I was with Erica the whole time.
And during what time was this?
From 1 to 3 a.m.
Yes, that's right. Between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., Dr. Nanjo, Goda, and I were relaxing in the lounge. Why? Okay, first off, why the fuck would like a 70-year-old doctor, like a 70-year-old man, be hanging out in the lounge with you, Erica? You're 12.
Yeah, but he was mostly talking with Goda and getting drunk.
I'm sure, yeah, but like, come on. What the fuck, Erica? It's just weird.
It is a bit.
I'm not accusing Nanjo of anything here. It's just like, why would you like contrive this situation and think that it's not suspicious at all, Erica? What the fuck?
Little bit. But I mean, I suppose she needed somebody to talk to. She is, you know, aside from being a fucking nerd, she is also a survivor of a shipwreck
Yeah.
who's just here as an outsider of the family. So the person who would understand her the most would probably be Nancho.
Repetition requested, my master. I'll respond. From 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., the trio of Erica, Nanjo, and Goda spent their time in a lounge on the first floor of the guest house.
Though she had flat out refused Beato's repetition request, she responded to Erica's immediately. The red truth was starting to corner Beato. Beato grimaced as though in pain, but she still struck back with the blue truth. No, she really was in pain. His alibis were steadily established for everyone other than Natsuhi. The witch illusion was being denied. Beato proceeded denial of her existence as pain.
Even so, he shouldn't have an alibi for the time period before and after you were in the lounge. It was possible for Nanjo to commit the crime, too. So, Erica and Bern Costello are taking the very long way of doing all this. Because what I would have done first, I mean, like, it's just the most logical, quickest path to, like, victory here, is to prove that the crime must have happened within the time frame of 1 to 3, and then give everyone's alibis after that.
Yeah,
Because then, like, that prevents any further questioning.
Yeah, they're just dragging it out, probably to upset and frustrate, well, basically, Nazi and everybody allied to her.
All right. We have to take a quick break, and we may have to end after I get back because I've got to go help my housemate with something, and I don't know what effect that's going to have on my shoulders.
All right, we'll let you folks know if we do have to do that. But for now, we'll take
I will,
a break.
I will say something instead of just like unceremoniously ending the stream, but like, just be forewarned that it may end early. I'm back, but this is not necessarily the end of it because what my housemate, like, I thought when I got the text message, I thought like, okay, they need me to go out to the car and grab something and drag it in because my body isn't fucked up enough. Sure, let's do this. But what they actually want is for me to go with them somewhere else in town, like get in the car, drive somewhere to go pick something up, and then come back and bring it in the house. And they want
the fuck.
I'm like, it's a water cooler, by the way, like it's like an office cooler sort of thing, not filled, of course. I don't know how much they weigh, so actually, give me a second.
It's still not great.
Office cooler weigh. Doesn't say how much they weigh. Okay, like 30 pounds. I don't know if that's including water or not, or if that's like an electronic one, or electric one rather, not electronic. I guess it could be both.
But still, close to 30 pounds, if not 30.
Yeah, depending on what's going on there, because that might be the weight of a 5-gallon jug. You know, I
Yeah.
think that actually is. I think a 5-gallon jug is like 35 pounds or something like that. Whatever. Anyway, so like they want me to take a break and do that, but like they sent me this text message before they even got the fucking address from the person that's selling it to us.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I can't take breaks like they're like 30 minutes long, okay? Like imagine if you were watching a fucking TV show and then literally nothing happened on screen for 30 fucking minutes. Would you stay on that or would you tune into something else?
Yeah, taking a look
come
here, item weight 6.9 pounds for a water cooler. And that's that's the weight of what it will be when shipped, so.
They might need my help for that then, I don't know. I doubt it. Like it's 25 fucking pounds.
And obviously,
if you can't carry 25 pounds, then you should be on disability, like genuinely. Or you should be like a 6-year-old or something. In fact, like even if I was 6, I think I'd be able to carry 25 pounds. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I was just stronger than usual. I don't remember. I don't know. It's not like I tested myself against other 6-year-olds when I was, 6.
Yeah. All right. So we'll keep going as long as we can, but
yeah, would just be forewarned that I may get a text message at some point being like, "Hey, I got the address. Let's go." And then we'll have to in there.
Yeah, and we'll have to consider that end of stream.
This is the kind of shit that I deal with every day, guys. It's like this every day. Whatever. Anyway, haven't read this bit.
Well, let's repeat it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. That's right. I get that Nanjo was in the lounge with Erica from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., but what about before and after that? Oh, yes, I did read that. Okay. Well, Erica. Yeah, Quinn. You're not wrong. Don't make 6-year-olds do strength training.
That's not exactly the answer we wanted, but the answer we deserve.
Of course, first the alibi for before 1 a.m. This is no problem at all. I played cards with the cousins in their room until midnight.
Oh, game audio's not coming through now?
Oh, god damn it.
All right, let me see.
Technical difficulties, everyone. Let's.
Yeah, Umineko's audio is just straight up not coming through now. Let me see what I can do about that.
Well.
Let's see. There we go. Do we have audio now? Alright. I'm using the beta feature of getting the audio straight from the window rather than making a separate audio.
Yeah, well, you have to fucking... Oh, and text message. Hold on a second. Let's see. All right. That's it. Sorry.
Sorry.
We got one further line after that.
Yeah, alright. Sorry about this, folks.
Be fine, because if it's not, I will explode. I'll just like turn into a huge, messy, like shadow goop everywhere, just swallow the earth, etc., etc. No one wants it to not be fine. Believe me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Follow the links on the YouTube About section to our Twitch channels, our Twitch channels lead to our social medias, which for me is Blue Sky and Pillowfort. For Cat, it is
still Twitter. Sadly, I haven't done it yet. Okay, I'll find something again eventually. It'll be fine. I still got a whole bunch of other shit that I gotta do on the back end too.
Yeah, Twitter, Kara, and Discord.
Yes, join the Discord. We are currently apparently talking about Marvel Rivals or whatever the fuck it is.
All right.
Stupid ass new hero shooter that came out. Yeah, Marvel Rivals. Okay.
So thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time, hopefully, for at least a 4-hour run.
Hopefully, yes. I'll be back tomorrow with Elden Ring and Nate. Could have done with Mal, but Mal didn't finish their character.
I did not.
So,
all right,
I will
later,
weep and
everyone.
cry forever.